Welcome everyone. Great to have you all. Good to see you all. Great to have you, Nidhi, Nutan, Minduji. Keep your videos on, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in and welcome to this new year 2024 and welcome to this Health Talks with Experts 2024. And I'm truly happy to introduce you to the panelist of today's Health Talks with Experts as we are going to start our new year, a very strong women, and what a wonderful powerful story that you are going to come across, and certainly you are going to learn a lot. And I just set this intention as we are going to start this, that today I want you all to pay full attention so that you start receiving in abundance. Pay attention to start receiving in abundance, and just live an abundant life. 2024, let's start with a bang. And for those of you, those who do not know me, just message me here. If anyone who do not know me, just message me here, DNK. Just let me know if you are completely new. Just sorry, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me. What was the last thing that you heard from me? Yeah, thank you. Great to see you, Nidhi. What was the last thing? Okay, I think I was introducing myself, so I'll just quickly introduce you. I'm Yuktaraj Kishore. I'm a breath coach and Nirvana Fitness Ambassador. I'm a certified flow coach, and I'm on a mission to help people to breathe right and breathe consciously so that they attain their physical, mental, emotional, and finally spiritual health and well-being. And not only that, the next level comes when you connect, when you heal yourself. The next stage comes that you start healing people around and start creating a difference in the people's life. So I want to create an army of breath champions, those who spread this breath awareness message and help people to heal themselves just by using the power of their breath. How many of you are with me? Just message me here with you. And great to have you all. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Keep your videos on because today is going to be a very powerful and interactive session. Our our panelist, our renowned panelist, is will blow your mind. When I have first come across her, I felt a very deep connect with her, and that's how we start connecting and start understanding and knowing about each other. And her journey has been very inspiring for me. The whole journey of her has been very inspiring. So without any further delay, I would like to welcome here our today's panelist, the first panelist of Health Talks with Expert of year 2024, Arshdeep. Great to have you here, Harshdeep. Harshdeep is a life coach. She's from Bharat, but currently she's living in Australia with her husband and two young children. By profession, she's a software engineer. By heart and by passion, she's a life coach. She has worked in various multinational companies, Fortune 500 IT companies, has served Australian government in various positions. She also teaches Bharatiya values to NRI children voluntarily in Australia. Of course, she also had a lot of ups and downs in her life, and when she lost someone very close to her, and there began her journey of finding the life answers that pushed her on a spiritual journey 10 years back. She studied various methodologies like astrology, numerology, Kriya Yoga, and many more, law of attraction, and many more. So, based on her learnings from spiritual, intellectual, as well as technical masters, She's not teaching people to create a magical life by connecting with their inner divine as a gift. So without any further delay, let me just bring her here. Arshdeep, let me just bring you here. Yeah, great to have you. Hope everyone can hear me well. Yeah, great to have you, Arshdeep. A very, very warm welcome. Everyone, please message here, warm welcome to Arshdeep. Let's welcome her with a big, big round of applause. I hope everyone can hear me well. I'm audible, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Awesome,
Yukti.
awesome.
Can you hear me, Yukti?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I can hear you well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for all the kind words and also giving me opportunity to be here and share my side of story with everybody and
Absolutely.
giving me opportunity to learn from all of the people who are in the room. And thank you so much for coming into my life, first of all. And thank you so much, everybody, for this reunion. So when we meet like this, it's not, don't think that we are meeting for the first time. It's definitely reunion of our soul. It's not a coincidence that we are sitting in this room and we are talking about this deep stuff, that we are not complaining about life and, we're not just talking the shallow stuff. So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Yukti, for the introduction. And people call me Vandanari. Maybe by the end
Yes,
of the session, you would know why they call me Vandanari. And my
yes,
full
yes.
name, my
By
official
the
name is
way, yeah,
Arshdeep.
and you all can check out later, not now, because she's now live present. So please pay full attention what she shares so that you ask. This is a very wonderful opportunity, free of cost, everything that she's present here, and you can ask very deep questions that may be, keeping you awake and, troubling you. And I would highly, highly recommend later you can go and check out her YouTube channel, Wonder Nari, and you will be amazed. Honestly, one thing I want to share, Ashdeep, when we had our first talk and you talk about Varna Nari, so I just opened it and, you can sense the energy. Um so and that's how I start connecting more and more to you, even without even watching a single video, but you can sense the energy of the whole page and everything. So that's how I started. So everyone, I would highly recommend later, but yes, let's have Ashdi today, and the topic is very, very powerful, and I hope it's a need of an hour also. How to practice self love to liberate ourselves from our own negative thought patterns that we are harboring, as well as negative feelings. So the stage is all yours, Ashdeep. Just go ahead. I'll be on the backside, and I'm your student now.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, whoever can please switch on your videos, that will be really great and helpful for both of us to interact with each one of us more heart to heart. So I can see Nidhi, Binduji, Anil Gupta, Ganeshji, Venkateshji, Manishji, Umangji, C. Muru, where is the name? C. Muru Gesan. So if I
Yeah,
pronounce anybody's name wrong, please tell me in the chat. Abhishek ji, Chandra ji, Shubhashish ji, um, names are moving. Anup ji, Anu Parthiv Agarwal ji, and Dilip ji, Nidhi Nutan, Hunkar, Hunkar Singh ji, Megha, Manoj ji, Sheetal ji, Om Prakash, Bharati, and somebody is logging in. Preeti, I hope I covered everybody, but Pratapji. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. It's not, as I said before, it's not a coincidence that we are sitting in this room, talking here, discussing. And first of all, before we start the session, I would say, don't think that there is a teacher sitting here and singing her own story. This session is not like that. I'm here more than teaching, I'm here to learn from you guys. So that's why I said, let's make it a bit more interactive so that we can learn from each other, and only one intention. Let's just keep the windows open. Let's not judge anyone. Let's not over expect anything. Let's just keep the windows open and let's have some kind of shastra. In Bharat, we have a very, very strong pratha to ask questions, to challenge each other, so that we have a manthan and we come up with beautiful ideas, and we come up with more and more and refined form of knowledge. So just keep the windows open and let's be open to learn, to experience each other. So as Yukti mentioned, I live in Australia at the moment, but I work for Bharat. And also when you'll check my social handles, you would know that I teach in Hindi. And that is my way of giving back to Bharat. Because when a Bharatiya goes, like, don't think that I'm, NRI and sitting and talking and all of that stuff. It's more of mere kan mein Bharat hai. So a lot of things you will see me saying in Hindi as well. So if anybody here in the room don't understand Hindi, please let me know in the chat and keep bringing me back to the English space. So self-love, very, very beautiful topic. Now I talk a lot about it, but yes, I would confess here that for a long period of time, I have been stranger to this concept. So I born and brought up in Punjab, and that's where I did my computer engineering from. And then, so I born and brought up in a very rural village. I used to think that, we had one government school shared among 3 villages. And I always felt that after completing year 8, they'll get me married, because that's how the family culture was. And there was zero awareness of study or anything like that. And I didn't even know, because our school was just till year 8. And then I manifested. Before I reached year 8, it became till 10. Long story short, so many things happened. And then I was so fortunate to complete my engineering. And that's a story for some other time. Today, the focus is what happened afterwards. And that's how my journey of freedom started. Immediately after completing my BTech, I moved to Delhi for job without having job. But I said at home that I got a job in Delhi, and I went there with 5,000 rupees. And then I never looked back. And from there, I and my husband, we went through a lot of examinations, a lot of tests and stuff. And then we came to Australia. So whatever we got, it's with God's blessing, but God made us experience by doing it by ourselves. So till there, I was earning decent. Okay, the family responsibilities were good. So we both are elders. So we've been feeding our families and everything. But that's when all the basic things are ticked, then you start finding fulfillment, because that's where I had a little breather time. And when you have that breathing time, that's when you start figuring out whatever you're doing, are you doing it right? I was reflecting.
Hello. Just a sec. Yeah. Can you unmute yourself now?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So when I was in Delhi, there was a time of my life, 4 days. So I had really long hairs because, I come from Punjab, and in Punjab, we are very much known for our hair. And I was not combing my hair for 4 days, 5 days. I was going to my office as a software engineer just in chappal. So I still, I never validate things with the cost or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say, if you're doing it from a powerless inner space, it's completely opposite to the self-love. But if you're doing it powerfully, that, it doesn't matter to you, you're happy anyways, even if you're combing your hair or styling your hair or not, even if you're wearing chappal, if you're doing it from a powerful space, that's not a problem. But with me, the case was different. I had everything. I had good job, whatever I wanted. I completed my engineering, even though the situation was so adverse. But I was doing all these, bad things, and then I was attracting whatever I was inside. So that is the first principle which I learned from my reflection, and also I'll share the part of my story and also the learnings. Whatever you have inside, that's what you manifest outside. So that's one of the law of attraction principle as well. So when I was so low, the same kind of energy I was attracting. I was attracting people like, parasites. Like they were like everybody. It's like the people who were around me, they would not feel their day complete if they didn't trouble me during the day. Why? Because inside I was so powerless. I was so weak and I was not practicing self-love. So that was the phase of 3 years. And then I got married to the person, the kind of person I wanted, and everything was good. And then I was here in Australia. Now things were better. Things were in terms of earning, in terms of, whatever I wanted from life. But then I lost one of the very loved ones. So this child I lost, she was like a first child to me. She was my niece, although, but when she was born, when my sister was pregnant, I was with her, and the bond was very different. And I was feeling like, I always did, and the family did all the good things in the books. Why it happened? And that's how my journey started when I needed answers. And because I come from a logical background, I'm a software engineer. I would not nod my head like that if somebody says this and I'll get agree. No, no, it's not like that. I need logic. And coming from a mathematical background, it was not easy to satisfy me or satisfy my logic. Then I started studying astrology. That was it a game of any, planets or any grahadosh or anything like that. I got really good at it. But then I was not feeling like, okay, that's it. And then I started studying numerology. Um, I was convinced with the science, but it was not giving me the answers which I wanted. And then yoga and whatnot. So I kept on progressing. Every time I used to feel that I'm getting good at it, but I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting what I want. I'm not getting. So there was one piece of the puzzle. So I was getting my answers. I was very close, and then I was not getting it. Very close. I was not getting it. Why? Because one piece of the puzzle which was missing, which started long ago, which I experienced very heavily, but I was not able to interpret it. I experienced it when I was in Delhi, the time when I was, the example I gave, not combing my hair and stuff. The missing piece was self love. Yes, self love. Now, when we talk about self love, what comes to our head or what we see in on the social media? Anybody, can you put in the chat, please? What do you mean by self love? One activity. If I ask you, do one activity for self love, what would you do? So just give me one word in the chat. Nithi, Binduji, Anilji, Ganeshji, anybody? Self-care, okay. Thank you, Prakashji. Jayanta, Anoopji. Because there might be things which you guys don't need me teaching. So that's why I need to know. What do you mean by self-respect and confidence? Get ready, buy clothes, eat ice cream. Passion and respect for self. Take care about self. Treat yourself good. Awesome. Self-importance. Do pamper itself. Take care. Yeah. Holistic care. Awesome. So all the answers are really great. Now, this is where we think when we think about self-love. We start thinking about our body. We start thinking about our outer appearance because confidence is tied to that as well. So give time to oneself. Yes, very, very nice answer. So what I was missing, before I wear the clothes I want, I need to have awareness what I want. I need to have awareness what I like. And for that, someone was very much stranger for me, a very important person who was completely stranger to me. Anybody? Can you guess who was that important person who was stranger to me? Very close to me, but very stranger to me. I didn't know about that person. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. So myself. So I claimed all of those things. Yes, I am successful. I am this and I achieved this. I was already a celebrity of my village, first engineer girl, and things like that. So I was saying all that, and I was not lying, but I was not knowing a very, very important person. Whatever I knew about that person, it was only from the words of others, which obviously I did not trust completely, which I'll come to it. The only chashma I saw it from, or the lens, I only saw it from the lens of other people. I never really spent time with that person. So whatever I was doing, पूरा तुक्का चला रही थी कि अच्छा सब लोग कहते हैं ऐसा करके you will be successful in your life. That's what I was trying to do. But I was not asking the right person. I was not asking how you feel. I was not asking that person, how are you? I was not asking or telling that person that I love you. That person was completely stranger for me. And the day it hit me, 4 days, I locked myself in the room. I was into so much regret. I was like, मैं इतनी बड़ी सब चीजें मेरी आंखों के सामने थी, and how can I do that? Like, किसी ने मुझसे पूछा, there was a teenager here, my friend's daughter. She called me, said, Arshanti, her parents were not able to speak English, although they were living here. But she had this assignment from the school. And she said, Arshanti, I have to capture an interview of anyone for 15 minutes. And there are some questions I have. I said, yeah, just tell me, what are the questions? And questions she asked me, what are your values? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food and why? These kind of things, very slam book kind of questions. But I answered them just for the sake of answering. But that day I realized कि मुझे तो अपने बारे में कुछ पता ही नहीं. मेरा फेवरेट कलर पता है कौन सा था, जो मेरे हस्बैंड का था. There is no problem in that कि अगर आप अपनी फैमिली के लिए you adapt what they like. There is no problem with that. But was it coming from real me? Was it coming from authentic me? So I kept on saying, yeah, my favorite color is red, which is, but actually my favorite color is black. But I never said that. Why? क्योंकि मेरे husband को black नहीं पसंद, especially मुझ पर पहना हुआ. No problem अगर if I sacrifice that color. But I never asked myself. People will say, okay, you look good. And I will try my best to find excuse कि oh no, मैं आपको इसीलिए अच्छी लग रही हूँ because I applied some multani mitti today. But otherwise I'm not good. Oh, my outfit is good. Oh, you're seeing it good. Why? Because you saw it for the first time. It's actually a very old outfit. I was so habitual of denying everything good which was coming to me. And that was the missing piece. That जो भी मुझे universe in the form of people, in the form of words, bringing to me so that I can refine it and move forward, I was completely shut. जब आज हमने conversation start किया, I said only one thing we need is we just need to keep our windows open. I was so close, but only for myself. I was trying my best to be best bahu. I was trying my best to be best daughter, sister. I was trying my best to do good in each relation. But सबसे important, जिसको देना था, I was so dishonest to that person. मैं इतना धोखा कर रही थी उस इंसान के साथ, and that was me. इसीलिए दुनियावी नॉलेज, वर्ल्डली नॉलेज होते हुए भी वो मेरे काम नहीं आ रही थी. मैंने बोला कि मुझे बहुत अच्छे मेंटर्स मिले. आई गॉट रियली गुड मेंटर्स इन different topics which I studied, but it was not penetrating in my soul because I was seeing it from outside world. I was not involving myself. I was not involving Arshdeep. So that's the second learning which I got. That when I am not connected with myself, I am not asking any questions to myself, when I'm not uh, able to know how I'm feeling, and then I'm trying to find answers. Answers for what? Kiske liye? Am I trying to find answers of the questions people have, or am I trying to find answers the questions I have? And that's where the actual self-love journey started. Rather, and that's the third thing, what I say, when it's the time to go all out, that's the time to go all in. So people, you can make a note of this line, जो मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि जब वो समय आ जाए, when you feel कि अभी I have to, be successful, I have to get this in life, that in life, we start looking for different things. We'll start looking for books, we start looking for YouTube videos, we start looking for podcasts or all other methods to extract information from the outside world. But सबसे बड़ा, सबसे ओरिजिनल, सबसे इनिशियल स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट जो है, we have to go all within. And that's where a magical group of 3 P's came into my life. And what was that magical 3 P's stuff? 3 P's, I call it: pen, paper, and pani. So why I say that? We think, oh, I'm thinking, I'm spending time with myself, all of that. But if it's not on paper, your thoughts go like that. Okay. So for example, I have the seed of thought that today, 4 o'clock, I have to be with this family of Yukti. I have to meet them on camera. Okay. So the first thought, okay, Yukti asked me to join 4 o'clock. Okay. So I have to start preparing dinner 3:30. Okay. What if kids came and disturbed me? My daughter is not well. I have to give her medicine. Medicine is not good. Ayurveda treatment is good. What Ayurveda treatment I should go? Or you remember when you were sick, when you were 10 years old and you took this medicine? Can you imagine where thoughts are going? The seed, the intention was Yukti asked me to come and join the family for this call at 4 o'clock. And this is how, and I call it jalebi. Anybody knows? Anybody who don't know jalebi? Okay. जिसको पता है जलेबी क्या है, give me Y in the chat, please. Give me Y in the chat. Jalebi. That's a North Indian sweet. Yes. Preeti knows, Yukti knows, Husna knows, Rahul knows. Very good. So most of you know. So that's the jalebi of thoughts. So that's why the 3 P's were so important: pen and paper. If it's not on paper, it's lost in the noise. So that's why and maybe Yukti might be doing these kind of things with you, journaling and all that stuff. But initially you just need pen and paper. जो आपके मन में आ रहा है, just write it on paper. Don't worry about scripting rules and color of pens and color of diary and stuff like that. You just feel you're doing a podcast with yourself. Okay, now this thought is coming. Now this thought is coming. Now this thought is coming. Keep on writing on paper. And why I said pani, why I said water is important? Because that time you're opening the windows. Now, many of us know that when we open windows, there is a huge flow of air start coming into our place, right? So, which means there is a huge flow of energy start coming or start flowing through us. And a lot of times, depending on कौन से मानसिक स्थिति में हम हैं. If we are too much into trauma, we are too much into pain and lot of stuff, or we have heat in our body or thoughts, then हमें बहुत उस तरह से जलन जैसा फील होता है. We feel thirsty, we feel dry. That's why we need to have water alongside us. Even if you look at our pictures of great rishis or all those people, they always have a kamandalu sitting next to them when they're writing, whatever they're doing, although it is used for many other purposes as well. But a lot of times you will see that water is very, very common element when we are doing any kind of exercise. So this is how the magic started. And I was so surprised. Initial 10 days, so much, I would say, junk or rubbish was sitting in my head. Like I used to ask me. So, for example, I'm sitting like that. I'm feeling so lazy. I don't want to do anything. Then I'll start asking myself, okay, why are you feeling lazy? Why are you feeling this? Then I'll start, okay, I'm not feeling like doing anything. Okay, then I'll ask myself, because I saw that answer on the paper. Okay, I'll ask, why are you not feeling like this? Because I want to eat something special. Okay, what do you like eating? Then I'll ask. It's like a monologue, but you don't think you're doing it with yourself. You feel as if you be formal. Please try to be formal. सब लोग बोलते हैं ना, be authentic, be authentic. I would say you be formal. You've been so authentic to yourself that you're not connecting with yourself. So be a bit more formal. क्यों कह रही हूँ? जब हमारे घर में हमारी माँ ने आना हो, हमारा घर पूरा फैला हुआ होता है. जब हमारे घर में किसी गेस्ट ने आना हो, तो हमारा घर एकदम चकाचक होता है. So similarly, if you are talking to yourself like जैसे होता है ना कि अरे कोई बात नहीं, वही दोस्त ही आ रहा है, तो सारी जगह कूड़ा फैला रहेगा, एंड यू विल टेक हिम और हर सो ग्रांटेड. लेकिन अगर आप थोड़ा फॉर्मल ऐड करते हो उसमें, देन आपको थोड़ी शर्म आएगी कि आई एम वेस्टिंग दैट पर्सन्स टाइम, आई एम टॉकिंग टू दैट पर्सन. लाइक अभी हम दोनों बैठे, अगर मैं और युक्ति बात कर रहे हैं, वी आर सो क्लोज एंड वी कैन टॉक अबाउट एनीथिंग. But if I'm sitting on camera, then मुझे ऐसा होगा कि I should stick to topic and things like that. So please people, when you're starting your journey, be formal with you. आप खुद को थोड़ा सा formal करें so that you start extracting that information out. So that is the third thing which I learned and started. अभी भी इस टाइम पे भी मेरे पास 6 से 7 डायरीज मेरे डेस्क पे बैठी रहती हैं. ऑलवेज अगर एक कोई चीज मुझसे पूछे ना, एक चीज विच आई वुड नॉट लीव माई हाउस और रूम विदाउट, इवन यू वुड नॉट बिलीव, अभी भी मेरे घर में मैं सोती हूँ तो बेडरूम में नेक्स्ट टू मी देयर इज अ डायरी. अगर मैं नीचे जा रही हूँ, इवन दो आई एम कुकिंग और एनीथिंग लाइक दैट, देयर विल बी डायरी नेक्स्ट टू मी, बिकॉज this is my way of, this is my phone to talk to myself. So that should be your best friend. Find a way to talk to yourself. So every people who got 3 P's, give me 3 P's in the chat so that I know you got that concept. And then I'll come to the self-care where we started from. 3P, 3P, give me 3P, 3P. Pen, paper, pani, pen, paper, pani, pen, paper, pani. Awesome. Jayanta ji, Rahul ji, Anil, Om Prakash, awesome. Awesome. That can be a logo, that can be a company name, brand name as well, huh? 3 P's. The wonder 3 P's. As I always say, like everything, wonder, wonder. Okay, awesome. And then I started knowing myself more. And then I had a crush. Then I had attraction. And then I fell in love. किसके साथ? With the most important person, that was me. और अगर मैं एक स्टेप और जाऊं, तो that me was not Arshdeep. That me was not Arshdeep. Because whenever I see her as Arshdeep, बचपन की सारी चीजें याद आ जाती हैं. खुद को कॉम्प्लीमेंट कैसे दे सकते हो? ये तो अहंकार की निशानी है. खुद की तारीफ कैसे कर सकते हो? वो तो मुंह से, खुद के मुंह से मियां मिट्ठू है. खुद की अचीवमेंट्स कैसे गिनवा सकते हो? Because you're not respecting other people in the room. Then all of that, and that's somewhere, that's a partial truth as well. ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी होती है बहुत जल्दी अहम में आ जाने की, मैं में आ जाने की. तो फिर क्या करें? That is why I was not practicing self-love, because I was over and over time I was reminded again and again that अगर मैं एक particular style में hair करूंगी, then it means I am inviting boys like when I was young. That is why I stopped doing anything with my hair. That if I do my hair, if any boy is attracted, I'm a bad girl. This is how my brothers taught me, but not their fault. That might be necessary when I did not have knowledge, but right now it's different. Then I felt, now this someone, I'm calling it someone intentionally. This someone is not Arshdeep, because Arshdeep is the name of this body. This someone does not have any gender. This someone is not born for the first time like this. Right now, you might be seeing me, a girl in 30s, and she's a girl. Obviously, she has a gender, all that stuff. But when I started talking to that someone, a lot of magic started happening. You can call it your inner divine. You can call it your better version. You can call it your divine version, whatever you want to call. I born in Sikh family, and obviously, when you are in your spiritual journey, then these religion names, I would completely like. मैं यही बोलूंगी, religion names ही बोलूंगी, because that did not start when the सृष्टि started. ये तो हम अब फॉर्म्स में लिखने लगे हैं ना कि क्या है आपका धर्म. When you keep on progressing on your spiritual journey, these names does not matter. आज if I connect with female energy, I'm connecting with Ma Durga. No matter what dharm people call, if I am so peaceful and I'm in a very monk mode, I might be connecting to Buddha. If I am in so much mentor worship kind of mode, then I am practicing Sikh religion. That does not matter for me right now. So some people say that you look for God outside, or the divine, or the universe, whatever you want to call. I always say, never stick that powerful entity paribhasha or the definition to what others call it. My mother, she was very spiritual. So she always used to call him Babaji, because she was obviously in Sikh family. But me, sometimes I call him Sakha, sometimes I call them, sometimes I call universe, sometimes I call Mataji, sometimes I call Guru Nanak. Does not matter. When you connecting with that energy, now that energy I felt inside me. How can I call that energy Arshdeep? That's why I called that energy someone. So I feel it, that energy inside me. But you might not be feeling it inside you. Might be feeling that energy outside you. That does not matter. There is no strict rule कि आपको अंदर ही ढूंढना है या आपको बाहर ही ढूंढना है. किसी को फोटो में देखकर फील होता हो, किसी को मूर्ति को टच करके फील होता हो, और किसी को साइलेंस एंड शून्य को देख के फील होता हो. That divine energy. What matters is you connect with that energy. And let me tell you, people, when you open the doors, and many of you might have experienced it already. There are, as I said before, people here in this room, they are much experienced than me, because this is not the first time we are meeting. If you are in this room, we are talking about these deep topics. आपका जर्नी पहले से बहुत, आपने पता नहीं कितने बुक्स पढ़ रखे होंगे, कितने तरह का ज्ञान प्राप्त कर लिया होगा. So it means you might have experienced it at some stage. So that's why I refrain from calling it Arshdeep. And sometimes, to be honest, I refrain calling it self as well. Now, when it's so divine for me, when that someone is so divine for me, then how can I not respect it? How can I not love it? Now, मैंने आपको शुरू में बोला था ना, formal and casual. When that person is not me, that the energy is not me, then how can I be so casual with it? I know, अब आप सोचेंगे कि आप तो फेवरेट कलर की बात कर रहे थे, आप तो फिर वो तो बॉडी के साथ अटैच्ड है. I completely get it. But for me, that is somewhere a pathway. That is somewhere a tunnel to connect with that divine energy. So when I feel so alien in that world, एक ही बंदा है, एक ही एंटिटी है जिसके साथ मैं कनेक्ट करती हूँ, एंड आई एम फीलिंग सो एलियन, वी डोंट नो एनीथिंग अबाउट इट, वी डोंट नो ईच अदर्स लैंग्वेज, देन हाउ कैन आई कनेक्ट विद इट? एंड मे बी दोज वर्ड्स और दोज इनिशियल फीलिंग्स, they might be just the entry doors, but the first thing is I have to bring my listening ear to it. And this is how my self journey started. Very easy, but it was so close to me. It was so in front of me, but I was so blind. And the moment it started, then everything started happening. Then what were the experiences? What started happening? First of all, now I'm coming back to the same point where we started. When I needed answers, that is when I was knocking the doors. I was thinking that any external science will give me answers. But what happened? मेरी लाइफ में जो भी और भी बहुत कुछ हो रहा था, वो बच्चा गया मेरी लाइफ में. आई एम अ मैरिड पर्सन एंड वो बच्चा मेरी कजन का बच्चा था. एनीबडी हु विल सी मी आउट फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, दे विल थिंक के कजन का बच्चा गया है, उसकी माँ से तो ज्यादा दुख नहीं है ना इसको. एवरीबडी विल बी फीलिंग दैट. And then they will expect me to behave in the same way how एक कजन के बच्चे के जाने के बाद एक लेडी बिहेव करती है. आई शुड बी मोर केयरफुल अबाउट माई यंग चिल्ड्रन. मेरा बेटा, he was under 1, I was still feeding him when this happened, but I wanted to end my life. I was so much depressed. Now that time I went into complaint mode कि कैसे लोग हैं, ये लोग समझ नहीं रहे हैं मेरी पेन. I want to end my life, but they don't understand. They're saying कि भाई इतना भी क्या होता है, लाइफ तो जीनी पड़ती है, उसकी माँ नहीं जी रही है क्या, like these kind of things. And I was so much into complaint mode. But when that thing happened, that self connection or the connection with the divine happened, I started getting answers that why I'm attracting this kind of situations, why I'm attracting this kind of behavior. ऑफिस में जाती थी, इस तरह के कॉलीग्स मिलते थे कि मेरी जॉब खा गई है ये, व्हाई अ फीमेल इज गेटिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी. घर पे आती थी, ओवर द फोन कॉल्स, दिस कहते ना कि इम्पैथी, कम इम्पैथी वाले लोग मेरे आसपास क्यों थे, इतने हार्श लोग क्यों थे? व्हाई? because I was not operating from that high energy or that divine energy space, or I would say that powerful space. I was operating from a wounded space. Wounded क्या है? जख्मी, जिसमें होल हो रखे हैं. क्या थे वो होल्स? वो होल्स वो सारे थे जो बचपन से चीजें होती आई थी. Other people will show me path. Other people will tell me what to do. Other people will tell me what not to do. All of the suppressing and all that stuff, that became my pattern, and that sat in my inner space. अब क्यों मुझे इन पैटर्न्स का पता नहीं चला? Because I was not talking to myself, I was not talking to the inner divine, so I did not know that this is happening because of the patterns. I was completely in the complaint mode. And जब ये वाली चीज हुई, जब self connection develop हुआ, that time everything started revealing to myself. For example, if there is a particular female who is saying very harsh words to me, and then so that is attached with the gender. Then I went to workplace and there is another comment attached with the gender. Then I went to a shop and then there is this person made a comment again with the gender biasness. Why I was having attracting this gender thing, female, female, female again? Because we are two sisters and my parents were cursed for so long because I come from a village, very rural village, and everybody was cursing my parents to have two daughters. So I am the eldest one and then my sister, my younger sister. And that pain I had inside, that एक लड़की होना बहुत बुरी बात है, एक लड़की होना एक दुख की बात है फैमिली के लिए. And the same thing I was attracting outside. But obviously, I did not know the connection because I never talked to myself. I never connected with that energy who can guide me. Outside knowledge can tell me what I am going to experience. if I have a particular numerology pattern, then I would know, okay, these kind of things I'll be attracting, but why? So that did not satisfy me in those things. Those are great sciences, but I needed something else. And that's the answer my inner divine started giving me. That too, when I started writing, okay, आज क्या हुआ? किसने क्या comment किया? Okay, this was the comment. How did you feel? This is how I felt. When did you feel before? Okay, this is when I started writing. No matter if I write 10 transactions or 20 transactions, I was able to see the clear pattern. So what I meant by transaction, हम पूरे दिन में कुछ चीजें एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं. आज मुझे युक्ति ने ये बोला, आज मुझे निधि ने फोन पे ये बोला, आज मैंने मनीष को गिफ्ट दिया, मनीष ने एक्नॉलेज भी नहीं किया. ये जो छोटी छोटी चीजों की रिपोर्टिंग है ना, जो हम अपने अंदर देते हैं, दीज आर ट्रांजेक्शंस. तो सास ने ये बोला, बहू ने ये बोला, इसने वो बोला, कितना भी लिखो, 10 टाइम्स लिख लो, 20 टाइम्स लिख लो, बात की जड़ एक ही है, बात का निष्कर्ष एक ही है, क्रक्स एक ही है. एंड दैट क्रक्स वाज माय पैटर्न. It was not one pattern. Obviously, in different areas, whatever I was experiencing, I started noting down on the paper, and then I started analyzing patterns. As I told you, I come from a background, like I work as a software engineer. Software engineering में हम क्या करते हैं? हम पूरा दिन देखते हैं, वेबसाइट है, वेबसाइट को हम मॉनिटर करते हैं पीछे से, कौन सा यूजर अपने माउस को सबसे पहले कहाँ लेके जाता है. So there is a pattern that most of the users वो लेफ्ट से लीड करना राइट की तरफ स्टार्ट करते हैं. तो उनका जो माउस होता है वो भी ऐसे ही घूमता है. जब आप किसी वेबसाइट पे लॉग इन करते हैं, देर इज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम जो बटन होता है उस पर लिखा है लॉग इन. सो वी नो कि जब कोई यूजर लॉग इन देखता है लिखा हुआ, इट मीन्स वो ऐसा समझते हैं कि इसको क्लिक करके हम अंदर चले जाएंगे. So these are the patterns we analyze. Similarly, जब आपकी लाइफ की ट्रांजेक्शन आप पेपर पे डालने लगते हो, एंड वो कब डालने लगते हो? जब आप अपना सेल्फ कनेक्शन डेवलप कर पाए हो, जब आप अपने आप को जान पाए हो, जब आप अपने लिए अवेयरनेस लेके आ पाए हो, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट एनालाइजिंग. क्योंकि एक बार लिख लिया उसके बाद तो एकदम से पकड़ में आ जाना है. एंड देन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग. ओके, दिस पैटर्न इज नॉट हेल्पिंग मी आउट एनी मोर. मुझे वो पैटर्न हेल्प नहीं कर रहा था. एंड लेट मी टेल यू, बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, अगर उनके खुद के अंदर हेट्रेड पैदा हो गया फीमेल एनर्जी के लिए, देयर माइट बी अ पर्सन जिसको यंग एज में किसी लड़की ने धोखा दिया हो, या फिर उन्होंने बिट्रेइंग गर्ल्स देखी हो, देयर आर हाई चांसेस कि उनकी फैमिली में प्रेगनेंसी के क्रिएशन के इश्यूज होंगे. मीन्स उनका इतना हेट्रेड हो गया फेमिनिन एनर्जी के लिए, और जो एक फर्टिलिटी है, जो क्रिएशन है, क्रिएशन शक्ति से आती है, क्रिएशन देवी के साथ अटैच है, मतलब फीमेल एनर्जी के साथ अटैच है. तो मिसकैरेजेस का होना बहुत कॉमन है, या फिर बच्चा ना होना, लाइक कंसीव ही ना होना, इसके बहुत ज्यादा चांसेस हैं. अब बंदा जाएगा डॉक्टर के पास, सोचेगा कि कोई मेडिकल प्रॉब्लम है या कोई फिजिकल प्रॉब्लम है, start taking those routes, but actually the route is somewhere different. अब अगर आप एस्ट्रोलॉजी में जाओ तो बहुत सारे, अगर अच्छा ज्ञानी एस्ट्रोलॉजर मिलता है तो दे वुड से कि भाई आप लोगों के ये ग्रह हुए हैं, या फिर आपके पितरों के साथ ऐसा हुआ है, या फिर आपके खानदान में किसी फीमेल का डिसरिस्पेक्ट हुआ है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, these kind of things. So actually the language is different, but they're trying to tell the same person the same thing, that there is a missing gratitude for female energy, or there is a conflict. कहते हैं ना कि कोई एक फीमेल है जिसकी वजह से ये चीजें नहीं हो रही, she was disrespected, she passed away, these kind of things. So what I'm trying to say, बहुत अलग अलग द्वार हैं, पद्धति अलग अलग हो सकती है. आप जिस पद्धति में विश्वास करते हैं, you can take it, no problem, but the jad, the root goes to the same place. And for me, the analysis, the pattern analysis was the method which satisfied me the most. And the other thing is, I was telling Yukti, जब भी मैं, when I teach people, because I come from a very logical background, तो मुझे लॉजिक चाहिए होता है. ठीक है, तुमने एस्ट्रोलॉजी की बात कर दी, अर्शदीप तुमने न्यूमरोलॉजी की बात कर दी, लॉ ऑफ अट्रैक्शन की कर दी, बट जब तक मुझे दुनियावी लॉजिक सेटिस्फाई नहीं करोगे, माई माइंड वुड नॉट एग्री. So I give the logical explanation. Then I go back to my spiritual realization, which is the energy world. And then I go to the intellect, which has astrology and all other evidences. So when I look at it from all these three perspectives, it brings me to my sweet spot. And that is my wonder spot, I call it. That आपका लॉजिकल माइंड कन्विंस होना चाहिए when you will write down these incidents of your life, you yourself will get answers. And that comes to my that point when I said that when it's a time to go all out, when you want answers for particular topic, particular thing, going out, that is the time when you have to go all within. That is the time when you have to develop that connection with your inner divine, with yourself, with your with your inner self, you can say, or with the Bhagwan you have inside. So that this is how I found out my patterns. Now that was the first stage. That was still the first stage. To achieve anything, there are three stages which I call. First one is awareness. When I asked you guys in the chat box what do you mean by self-love, many of you said, doing good things for yourself, decorating and buying new clothes and stuff. So, and then I said, how would you know what's your favorite clothes, or what's, what you like? We have to have that awareness of ourselves. So that is the first step. So we created a zone of awareness, doing all these things, and self-love is one of the pillars. The second is action. So there is a three-step, as I said before. The first A is awareness. The second is action. So action is what? So when you know, okay, these are your patterns. Now what you want to do with it? Do you want to live with it the whole life? Or do you want to get out of it? If you want to get out of it, you have to do the counter things. That's the second step, which is action. So how do you counter? अगर आपको anybody can guess when I had the pattern कि girl जो होती है गर्ल होना बुरी बात है, तो एक वकील है कोर्ट में खड़ा है, एक वकील कह रहा है गर्ल होना बहुत बुरी बात है, और जो दूसरा वकील है उसने इसकी बात को चैलेंज करना है. हाउ वुड दैट सेकंड पर्सन who is in favor of having girl will counter the argument? Any examples? मैं कह रही हूं, हमारा डिबेट चल रहा है, मैं कह रही हूं कि गर्ल होना तो अभिशाप है, फीमेल होना अभिशाप है, या लड़की होना अभिशाप है, एंड आपको काउंटर करना. हाउ वुड यू काउंटर? गिव मी इन द चैट प्लीज.
Girl is a creation energy, nurturing energy, feminine energy.
या गर्ल से ही दुनिया चलती है. वेरी गुड बिंदु जी. एनीबडी एल्स? शी इज द बेस. गर्ल टेक केयर ऑफ पेरेंट्स. शक्ति रूप. थैंक यू बिंदु जी, अनिल जी. Anybody else? So we all know the truth, right? But we never go to a court. We never go to our inner inner court, where we can counter these kind of belief system, these kind of patterns, and that too not in the head. If you are doing it in the head, what will happen? What will it become? क्या बन जाएगा दिमाग में अगर कर रहे हो तो? गिव मी इन द चैट, लेट्स सी कौन कौन अटेंशन दे रहा था. अगर दिमाग में ही कर रहे हैं, सोच रहे हैं नहीं नहीं मैं तो दिमाग में ही पावरफुल हूं, it will become jalebi again. So we have to do on paper. We have to do on paper so that हम उलझे नहीं, अपने ही आर्ग्यूमेंट में नहीं उलझे. That is one way of doing it. आप अपने पैटर्न, सबसे पहले हमने अवेयरनेस स्टेज में अपने पैटर्न्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया, लिख लिख के कि कौन कौन सी चीजें मुझे क्या फील करा रही है। मे बी गिव योरसेल्फ, अब कितना टाइम चाहिए, किसी को 3 दिन हो सकते हैं, किसी को 1 हफ्ता हो सकता है। So give yourself time, keep writing every day, keep writing every day, and then you recognize your patterns. Second, you start countering. You start countering that argument. Countering क्यों करना है? हम बहुत बात करते हैं सबकॉन्शियस की, सबकॉन्शियस प्रोग्रामिंग की। अब एक गंदा पॉन्ड है, एक पॉन्ड है, पॉन्ड को तो कहीं उठा के हम नहीं लेके जा सकते। वी कांट displace the pond, and that pond has a bad water, smelly water. Now we have to clean it. Pond is so big that it is not easy for us to take the water out. What we would do? How can we clean the water then? We can't take the water out just like that, and we can't take the whole pond and flip it and take the water out. So what would you do? How can we have the clean water? Manishi, how can we have the clean water? Binduji. Bharti, I like that name. Settling dirt, put disinfectant. Anybody else? Add fresh water from outside. Thank you, Rahul ji, Dilip ji, Bindu ji. Sukhdev Verma. Preeti. Cover nose. I like it. With regular maintenance. Pour more and more clean water. Bhavarpal ji, using disinfectant filter. Yes, many different ways. But without taking external tools, again, that will be a maintenance work, right? Filter. Okay. One way we can do it, we can pour more, and someone actually answered that. All the answers and all the options are great, but when we are taking that example for our mind, keep on pouring the nice water, keep on pouring the clean water. So eventually we will get to a point when all the dirt, all the bad things will come out, and we will have a clear blue water. Similarly, it's with that part. When my mind is so much filled with junk for 30 years, I only had to spend about 20 days, to be honest. That's in terms of my situation. I kept on adding clean water. I kept on adding fresh thoughts. The thoughts which I told you to have as a counter lawyer. I kept on pouring, and then eventually there was a day when instead of smelling water, I had beautiful fragrance or beautiful natural smelling water, which is the water which I'll look forward to. Means मेरे जो thoughts थे, इसने बदल दिया response, मेरा default response बदल दिया। किसी भी situation को देखने में पहले complain आता था. Like I was in complain mode, as I was telling you before, that why these people are not understanding, why this is happening. Actually, all that got settled, because what's inside, the same thing is outside. So what you have inside, the same thing you manifest outside. So that's the principle which we talked about earlier. So you connecting with dots? जो चीजें मैंने बोली, are you connecting with the dots? Literally in pond we'll find difficult to add more and more. Okay, inside the pond. Okay. But we have to see it from the outer view anyway. Okay, anybody? Are you able to connect the dots? Give me in the chat, yes or no. Awesome. Thank you so much, Anil ji, Bindu ji, Om Prakash ji. Awesome. अब अच्छा पानी चला गया and started feeling fragrance, and when you have, thank you so much, Anil ji. So when you have nice water inside, now my missing piece of the puzzle was completed, and to see anything in my life changed. And that is when I entered to a stage which I call magical stage. Easy and effortless stage. Can you please give me magical in the chat? Then I'll tell you what that magical stage was. Give me in the chat. Magical, M for magical. Awesome. Thank you, Bindu ji, and Prakash ji, Rahul ji, Payal ji. Thank you so much. Yukti, thank you so much. Now, what was that magical state? Magical state, I call it Singhasan moment as well. ऐसी life की ऐसी stage when I did not have to do anything. Things were just happening with me. So I did the initial investment. I did the initial down payment of knowing my patterns, releasing my patterns, and that stage was magical stage. अच्छा पैसा चाहिए आ गया. अच्छा business चाहिए. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, for all these 10 years, मैं जैसे swimming में ऐसे हाथ मारते हैं ना, I invested in so many business ventures. I invested more than a crore in different, technical knowledge to set up my different businesses. I tried maybe officially more than 20, but actually more than that. मेरा एक रुपया भी मैंने किसी बिजनेस से नहीं कमाया. ऑल्दो आई फील कि मेरे पास सब कुछ था, टेक्निकल नॉलेज भी थी मेरे पास, सब एवरीथिंग विच आई नीडेड टू हैव अ सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस, लेकिन मैं किसी में कोई तीर नहीं मार पाई थी. बट द मोमेंट आई entered to that magical world, that is when everything started getting to a place. At this moment, I am a full-time working woman where I work for someone. I also travel Bharat 5 times a year, minimum 5 times. Last year I did 6 times. I am a full-time mother. My children are very young and they are very good in score, which was not happening before, by the way. Don't think कि वो पहले से super intelligent होंगे. Despite of me traveling, उनकी habits, they know 5 languages. Sanskrit, Hindi, Punjabi, English, and then the other language they learn in school. They both are under 10. एक 7 साल का, एक 9 साल का है. My relationships, पहले जहां भी फोन आता था तो घंटी बजती थी माइंड में कि अभी ये पता नहीं क्या बात सुनाएंगे मुझे. All that flipped. मैं 5 बार बिजनेस ट्रैवल कर रही हूँ. आई हैव नो प्रेशर. कोई टाइम होता था वी आर गोइंग टू इंडिया और मुझे इंडिया जाने का खुशी नहीं होती थी क्योंकि मैं अपने मायके में तो एक दिन भी नहीं जा पाऊंगी. नाउ माई एक्सपेक्टेशंस विल बी, मैं जाऊं घर पे, बीइंग अ डॉटर इन लॉ, इस रिश्तेदार के पास जाऊंगी, उसके पास जाऊंगी. आई विल नेवर गेट चांस टू गो टू माई मम्मीज प्लेस एंड पीपल विल आस्क मी क्वेश्चन, पीपल विल मेक कॉमेंट्स. और अब मैं जब भारत ट्रैवल करती हूँ, माई मदर इन लॉ शी कॉल्स मी एंड से, बेटा, वो कहते हैं ना, जा सिमरन जी ले अपनी जिंदगी, बेटा बिल्कुल प्रेशर मत लेना that you have to come to Delhi to meet us. तो चेन्नई में है तो चेन्नई से जितना तुम्हारे पास टाइम है यू गो बैक होम क्योंकि बच्चों को तेरी ज्यादा जरूरत है. ऑल दैट प्रेशर मैंने उनको समझाया क्या फोन करके, क्या ऐसा नहीं ऐसा नहीं, कुछ नहीं समझाया. किसको समझाया? बड़े बॉस को समझाया, अंदर के बॉस को समझाया. दैट इनर डिवाइन, when you open the windows, you connect with the inner divine, you solve your अंदर का जलेबी, your bahar ki things get sorted by itself. Now financially, business, money is just an idea. I love money and that was one of the patterns as well. I hated money and then I wanted to have money. So that is another pattern. एक ही pattern मैंने बताया है because it takes a lot of time to work on all these patterns. मेरे पास सब कुछ था फिर भी मेरे पास कुछ नहीं था. एंड नाउ एवरीथिंग लाइक मनी सॉर्ट आउट हो गया है. करियर में जॉब वाले मुझे छोड़ नहीं रहे हैं एट दिस पॉइंट. इवन आई एम जस्ट केटरिंग इन, आई एम ओनली टीचिंग इन भारत, ऑनलाइन ही टीच कर रही हूँ. कहने का मतलब ऑस्ट्रेलियन एक्सपेंसेस मैं भारत की अर्निंग से मीट कर सकती हूँ. दैट इज वेयर आई रीच. बट ऑफिस वाले नहीं छोड़ रहे हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज ऑफ द अपॉर्चुनिटीज. नाउ माई सेल्फ ऑब्वियसली आई स्टार्टेड एंटी एजिंग. अगर आप मेरे चैनल पे भी जाओगे ना, 1.5 साल पहले के वीडियोस में मेरी स्किन देखना, मेरे बाल देखना, एंड मेरे लेटेस्ट वीडियोस में मेरे स्किन एंड मेरे बाल देखना. स्टार्टेड एंटी एजिंग. 2 प्रेगनेंसीज होने के बाद, इतना सब कुछ मैनेज करने के बाद, फिर मेरा टाइम इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग. हम सब बोलते हैं ना टाइम कहाँ से लाएंगे. oh my god, people ask me how do you do it and I still am very calm and relaxed and I have so much time for all different things. I do have a lot of hobbies. I like to ride scooter. I like to paint. I like to do craft with my children. I like to um, make videos. I like to do all that stuff. कहाँ से आता है time? That was just the idea and that again that was my one of my patterns. मम्मी कहती थी ना टाइम नहीं है, टाइम नहीं है, जल्दी करो, टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो, all that stuff that was tied to my time pattern. So my self got sorted, my career got sorted, lot of opportunities. Yukti knows lot of stuff is not official yet, a lot of getting lot of public speaking opportunities which I always wanted to. And by the way, by numerology I'm number 3, and number 3s are naturally blessed with guru grant, which is, so we are natural talkers. You might have known already by now, I talk a lot. Then my financial, which I already shared, and then seva part. सेवा हम बोलते हैं ना, सेवा कब कर पाते हैं हम? सेवा in terms of श्रम दान. I'm not talking in terms of पैसा दान, I'm talking in terms of श्रम दान. श्रम दान आप किसी को तभी दे सकते हो, the contribution, social contribution, you can only do when you have time. And I'm so blessed that I live a magical life, and I have easy and effortless life, and easy to effortless to manage everything across me, around me. And that gave me a lot of time to do what really connects with my soul, and that to teach children. I love teaching children, and that is what I do voluntarily. So now you saw when a girl who was living the life, she was not living the life, she was just passing the life, to be honest, just ticking the boxes. And then I entered to the world of self-love by connecting with my inner divine. And then I got to know about myself. And then I turned to the third phase, which was having magical life, which I call it achieve. So it was a triple A formula: awareness, action, and achieve. So this is how I finally achieved my third step, which was having a magical life. And now I live doing what I love doing. I don't live in any pressure. If and on any day I feel pressure, I again go back to my, जब भी मुझे लो फील होता है तो मैं कहाँ जाती हूँ? क्या है मेरा हाउस? 3P. क्या है? 3P.
पेन पेपर पानी.
Pen, paper, pani. And
Pen paper
I'll
pani.
just show you.
Have some
So
water.
I already, like, they just sit next to me. I have all these diaries, and I have all these colorful pens. I always have, because I like colors, and there is no particular reason of having different color pens, but I just like it. And then my water. Now, one caveat I want to say. क्या इसका मतलब ये है कि मैं 24 घंटे खुश रहती हूँ? क्या इसका मतलब ये है कि मेरी लाइफ में कोई प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं आते हैं? क्या इसका मतलब ये है कि मैं कभी लो फील नहीं करती? बिल्कुल भी नहीं. झूठ है अगर कोई कह रहा है. इंसानी रूप में होकर अगर कोई कह रहा है ना कि 24 आवर्स, कोई संत महात्मा कह रहे हैं, दैट इज अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. लेकिन अगर मेरे जैसा कोई बंदा कह रहा है तो बिल्कुल झूठ है. सच्ची बोल रही हूँ. देन फिर मैजिकल लाइफ कैसे हुई? हाउ कैन आई कॉल इट मैजिकल? अभी मैं भी आपके जैसी हूँ, उसके जैसी हूँ, उसके जैसी हूँ. व्हाई आई कॉल इट मैजिकल? बिकॉज आई नो वेयर आई नीड टू गो. अगर किसी को जोड़ों का दर्द है एंड दे नो दे नीड टू गो टू ऑर्थोपेडिक, and that orthopedic is too expert, they'll give them solution, that's it. So they don't have to spend 4 or 5 days looking for a doctor. And my doctor is 3P. I go back to my home. My home is 3P, pen, paper, pani. And I spend time with myself and I ask, क्या है लड़की? क्यों रो रही है? क्यों परेशान है? And that's where the manthan happens. I mentioned about manthan today. That is where manthan happens. And answers just come easily and effortlessly. I really don't have to do anything. And now I got to a point when I start writing, the answers come like that. Why? Because I know myself so well. वो कहते हैं ना, मम्मियाँ बोलती हैं. I say it to my son. They'll do some cheeky stuff, and my son will say, I'll ask. His name is Bhagwat. भगवत जी, आपको मैंने ये आपने प्लेट रखी है क्या? आपने सिंक में प्लेट रख दी? Yes. Now you can, we know from smile. I'll say, जाके रख के आइए. How do you know? You're not even there. I said, मैं आपकी माँ हूँ, आपकी रग रग से वाकिफ हूँ. So that रग रग से वाकिफ. Now अभी मैं खुद की रग रग से वाकिफ हूं. How? With the help of my home, that is 3 P's. So आप सबको, and you guys might be doing it already. I would strongly urge to have your home. Create your beautiful home. 3 P's: pen, paper, and money. And then have your 3 steps of your magical life: awareness, action, and achieve. And fall in love. Propose कीजिए please उस beautiful someone को जाके. And that beautiful, most important person is inside you. Or if you want to call him, her outside, and and I my beautiful person, उसका जो नाम है वो वंडर नारी है. So this is how and that name was suggested by that inner divine as well. It's not my name. Don't be mistaken. वंडर नारी को इस फेस से जोड़ने का मिस्टेकन नहीं करना, गलती नहीं करनी. I feel so powerful feminine energy, and that is how the name came as Vanda Nari. Because she is so powerful, कितनी beautiful. अरे मैं तो लड़की होती उसी से शादी करती, लड़का होती तो उसी से शादी करती. It's like that. And आप भी अगर लड़का है तो पहले love with yourself. You don't, अगर आप अंदर से लव के साथ फुलफिल्ड नहीं होते हैं ना, बाहर कितने भी, मैंने अपने चॉइस से शादी की है, बट आई हैड some very miserable moments. मैं बाहर लव ढूंढ रही थी, बट मैं ही खुद को लव नहीं दे रही थी. सो इफ यू आर नॉट लविंग योर सेल्फ, आपका बच्चा हो, आपके पेरेंट्स हो, आपकी सिबलिंग्स हैं, there will be push and pull, push and pull. There will be situations when you will feel that sorry, you love them or they love you, but there will be situations when you will feel, oh my god, कोई अनजान के साथ भी ऐसा नहीं करता. Why? We attract those situations. क्यों? Rule is, जो अंदर है वही बाहर है. You manifest what you have inside, the same thing you manifest outside. तो आंसर्स आपके अंदर ही है. बाहर भी बुक्स, कोई भी चीज आपको जब तक अंदर के साथ कनेक्ट नहीं करते हैं, तब तक हम बाहर आंसर्स नहीं ढूंढ पाते हैं. एंड जैसे मैंने पद्धति बोला था, देर आर मेनी वेज टू अचीव द सेम थिंग. फॉर मी द बिगेस्ट थिंग इज 3 P's. एंड एज ब्यूटिफुली युक्ति टीचर्स, द ब्यूटिफुल वे टू कनेक्ट योर सेल्फ इज ब्रीदिंग. लाइक वो एक ब्रीदिंग इज लाइक that rhythm है, that tone है. It's a music which will make you dance anyway. It's like that. The similar thing. It's like you want to dance with yourself. बस उस breathe के ताल में खो जाइए. And she's very good at teaching it, and I need to learn it anyway from her. And you guys are so fortunate to be together on this journey. So anyway, oh my god, I kept on talking. Really? Did it take that long, you think? Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
We were so mesmerized hearing you. Loved it. Yeah, breathing is my home, no doubt about it, for me to connect to. But yes, I truly loved the way you have said rag rag se waqif and pen paper pani. I've been doing it, but I think now I will do it even better. With the all the inputs that you have shared. I do have a lot of diaries here with
And
me.
just one thing
So
I want
we
to add. One thing I want to add.
please.
If anybody is so fortunate to live in nature, if you don't connect with a pen and paper, don't think it has to be paper. You can write on the beach sand. That is what I used to write when I was young. Why? Because I was so afraid. What if somebody read my diary? So you can use, just write
Wow.
whatever way you feel.
Very nice, very nice. We are open for the questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask everyone. You can raise your hand and we will bring you here. As well as you can just message here in chat box or Q&A session. Let's have some Q&A. You have been listening. So first of all, how have been the session so far? Did you find it powerful, valuable? And did you feel a shift? Did you learn anything? Just let me know in chat box. Jaldi say, what are you feeling now? Are you aware of your feeling? First and foremost, that we have just learned from Arshdeep. So can you all just tell one word, how are you all feeling now after attending and learning so many good things? Yeah, jaldi se batao mujhe फटाफट से. Wonderful session, great learning. Okay, so how are you feeling now, Preeti? Wonderful? Motivating? Okay. Anil ji is feeling motivated. Preeti is feeling wonderful. Bharti is saying best use of time. Okay. Rahul is saying enlightened. Venkatesh is saying awareness. Absolutely. Keep messaging everyone. Yeah. Awesome. Now, please share your questions also. If you have any questions, we would love to have. And this video, if you have, if you want to go through, and I would say 101%, please go through it. No doubt about it. Such a wonderful session. Did you all love listening? और ऐसा मन कर रहा था मेरा तो मैं सुनती ही जाऊं. I felt like कि बस तुम बोलती रहो अर्शदीप और मैं बस सुनती ही जाऊं. I felt like that. अब मैं तुम्हारे सारे वेबिनार में बैठने वाली हूँ. Yeah. So if you would love, please, yeah, I truly loved listening. You all can just check out this YouTube video and in fact, go through it again and again so that you fulfill yourself. Yeah. And do share your learnings. I would like to know that what are your learnings have been. हाँ, पहले कभी इस टॉपिक पे सोचा ही नहीं कि सेल्फ लव के बारे में हम बात करते हैं, हम सब बहुत सारी चीजों के बारे में बात करते हैं, बट अपने आप से रियल कनेक्ट हम कैसे कर सकते हैं यूजिंग पेन पेपर पानी. That was a complete eye opener for me also. Like it brought a lot of awareness, especially that jalebi thing, na? That we go through a lot of jalebis in our dimag. Okay, I see here one question from Kusumji that I'm suffering from depression and medicines are not working. What I do from 7 years. Yeah, this is one question I have found. Rest of you keep messaging here your questions as well as you can raise your hand. Would like to know. Meanwhile, Arshdeep, take this question. Yeah.
So the incident which I was telling you, the loved one which I lost, and that time I went to deep depression, and that's why I wanted to, take the final step which anyone can take, anyone can think of taking in that kind of situation. That time I was in deep depression. Now, as I told you before, that I go with all different methods. So first one, if I talk about Vastu was one of my other subjects, Vastu and astrology. Now, first of all, what depression is. Let's understand from that point of view. Depression is this, like congestion. Whatever the feelings, like we are so deeply tied into it. It's like jail. It's like rubbish thoughts. So what I found that time when I was doing Vastu analysis of my house, my rubbish bin, my dust bins, they were in the Gyan cone, Ishan cone of my house. So that was in Northeast. My rubbish. So here in Australia, we have a rule. Weekly they clean it. So we have big bins. We have to place, and every day we are putting kuda bags in it, and that was sitting in the wrong place. So that was the first thing. Now you don't have to go and check your Vastu. If you, I'll tell you the other methods. Why I'm giving you this example, because our mind is just like that. We are only inputting rubbish that time. आपकी लाइफ में कोई अच्छी चीज हो रही होगी ना, you would not be celebrating it. You automatically your mind will not celebrate it. You will be holding on to negative or low energy thoughts, low energy emotions, and you might be attracting the similar things. You might be feeling that ऐसा कुछ exciting हो ही नहीं रहा, that can take you out of that situation. That is the first thing. Second, if I go with the principle of patterns or law of attraction, what you have inside, the same thing you manifest outside. There must be, now depression can be of so many ways, but majorly depression comes due to two patterns. One is pattern of suppression, and the second is pattern of rejection. So if somebody has they had a suppressed childhood or suppressed early age. How I had, for example, I never had my say. Like I did not exist. My zuban did not exist. I was not allowed to say anything because my father is the youngest, and he had no decision making. My elder cousins, they used to dictate how I dress, how I everything. Now, although that was a matter of childhood, but what it conveyed or created in my life was like I was behind the bars. I was so much tied with the बेड़ी. बेड़ी होती है ना पुराने टाइम में कैदियों को किया जाता था. If you had any experiences where you felt suppressed, कई लोगों के ऐसा होता है, if they had it before, they manifest similar kind of in-laws or husband, those ladies when they get married. So that can be one of the patterns. So if that resonates with you, you can keep on writing what were the situations where you felt suppressed and go back. Write down your latest ones whenever you feel suppressed कि वो मुझे बोलने ही नहीं दे रहा, वो मुझे मेरे मन की करने ही नहीं दे रहा, मुझे इस चीज की आजादी नहीं है, मुझे इस चीज की आजादी नहीं है. Then go back 5 years, whatever you remember, and keep on going back. I started remembering, or I remember memories when I was 4.5. But some people don't remember that, that early childhood. They might remember only from when they were 10 years old. So go back until your memory is finished. That I don't remember any other memory where somebody suppressed me. So that is the biggest reason of depression, one of the reasons. The second is rejection pattern. For example, in my family, actually, because we were two sisters, as I told you before. When my sister born, obviously in India, we don't know the gender and stuff. My mother was so cursed when she was pregnant that वो तो लड़की ही होगी, उसके तो लड़की होगी. She never wanted to have a girl child. Not that she didn't like. The only reason because she did not want her girl to go through the same thing. And also, if the girl is born, these people will keep on saying these things to my child as well. So when my sister was born, my mother was shocked and she went to depression. Now my sister felt rejection, even though she did not have memories of those. She only know it from story. But when I analyzed her life, I felt that pattern of rejection started from there. Her mother rejected her. उनकी माँ ने चाहे जिस भी सिचुएशन की वजह से उनको अपनी लाइफ में उस टाइम एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाई. सिमिलरली वैसे लोग अपनी लाइफ में बाकी चीजों में भी रिजेक्शन एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं. उनको कहीं अंदर आने ही नहीं दिया. Sometimes people feel the same rejection in their jobs as well, but they don't know where it's coming from. It's actually coming from a childhood thing. So these are the two major patterns. There can be other child patterns as well, but these are the two major patterns: suppression and rejection. So keep on writing those memories and find out, give yourself a seed of possibility. What did I say initially? That, open the windows. Right now, when we are in that situation, as Binduji mentioned earlier, that in the pond, when you are in the pond, you don't actually have courage to look outside. But believe me, there are a lot of, in my life story today, we were in very jolly mode. You only heard very few stories. But if I open my whole life, there are a lot of situations where I felt like कोई hope ही नहीं है. It's hopeless. कुछ निकल ही नहीं सकती. But only one thing, which was the savior, that was a seed of possibility. So when you start writing, write it with a seed of possibility. And when you connect with your inner divine, you will definitely get step and then next step and then next step of action plan. So that is, so first is cause, which is suppression and rejection. Write down, bring awareness. Second, the action plan, counter argument. And the third thing is you experience it, you achieve it. But look at it from the seed of possibility perspective. Okay, there are other.
Amazing.
Okay. Yukti, I will get you to pick up the questions you want me to answer, because there are a lot of questions in the chat.
Yeah. I'm just seeing here some of the people that they have shared is Hosna is sharing that never thought about this self-love is amazing. While is sharing feeling a lot of pain in my body and feel very stressed about it. Payal, if you have any questions, like these are the things that people are sharing as of now, and Husna is again sharing that never digged in me. As soon as I think about loving myself or thinking about uh I feel like crying. What could be the reason?
Yeah. So first I'll answer just a one-liner for Payal. And that I would urge to
Please.
everybody, start with your 3 Ps, guys.
Hmm.
Initially, yes, it does happen because it's like आपने अपनी मम्मी को फोन नहीं किया 2 महीने 2 महीने 3 महीने. She has gone through a lot, and you suddenly call her. Obviously, you both will be into tears. आप अपने घर वालों को इतने दिन में मिलो, पहला इमोशन आपका टीयर ही होगा. So similarly, when you start, knowing yourself, there will be a lot of tears and डिप्रेसिव मोमेंट्स एंड और बहुत बीटिंग सेल्फ बीटिंग भी होगा. मैंने जैसे बोला ना कि मतलब कैसी लड़की है तू, सारी दुनिया के लिए कर रही थी लेकिन तुमने मेरे से बात नहीं की कभी. इट्स लाइक दैट. सो एक्सपेक्ट दैट एंड इट्स अ गुड साइन एक्चुअली बिकॉज इट्स अ रिलीजिंग. पानी आपको ऑलवेज रिमेम्बर पानी क्यों चाहिए था, बिकॉज यू आर रिलीजिंग दैट इमोशन, राइट. सो एक्सपेक्ट दैट. उन्होंने बोला कि उनकी बॉडी में पेन है. जो पेन है ना, dear, pain is the manifested form or manifested sign of what you have inside. The body pain is more than body pain. It's the trauma, it's the mental pain you have. मैंने बोला था wounded inner space, मतलब एक गोली मारता है ना कोई, तो उसमें छेद हो जाता है. that hole never gets filled. So similarly अंदर आपके all these wounds, किसी ने ये बोला early age में, ये बोला, those wounds are there, and you are operating from those wounds. And one more thing I wanted to mention, a lot of people who have suppressed a lot of stuff or kept a lot of baggage, sometimes they gain a lot of unwanted weight as well, because they have a lot of baggage around them, which they're not ready to release. Similarly is with the pain, you have to release it, and the best way is to start with the paper. Then Husna said that feeling like crying. Yeah, that's what I answered.
Yeah.
Go with the expectation that if it happens, it's okay. It happens with everybody.
Okay.
Jyoti, you were saying something?
Okay. Yeah. So for Husna, it's the same answer. Like she's also saying that she feels like crying because it's the first time she is thinking about, herself and connecting to herself. Umang is saying मैं भी rejection की वजह से depression feel कर रहा हूँ. See, good that you know, Umang.
Yeah.
Dilip is saying how 3P can be used for chronic health elements for self and old parent.
Yeah. Okay. This is a very common question which I get from people, that can we actually heal other people? So, of course, we can. So you mentioned about parent. And also, sometimes we being parent, we want to heal our children, because our children, if they're in teenage, they might not be, ready to listen or do these exercises. Now, whether it is possible, of course it is possible. But there are some caveats. Exactly the same example. If you don't have mask on yourself, you can't help others. If you are surviving on the reserve mode, एक reserve mode होता था पुरानी गाड़ियों में, like there is a very low fuel. When there is a very low fuel in the गाड़ी, you can switch the reserve mode on so that you can go to next petrol station. So similarly, if you are so wounded, you would not have that much positive energy to start working on them remotely. Definitely you can, but start with yourself. And let me tell you one more thing. कहते हैं ना कि एक इंसान की वजह से पूरा घर या तो पॉजिटिवली इफेक्ट हो सकता है या नेगेटिवली भी. When you start working on yourself, even if you're living 6 people, 5 people in your family, it will start, that fragrance start transferring on other people. So एक तो external उनको help होता है. Second, if you are a parent or if you want to heal your parents, second thing which I can tell you to start with, whenever you are touching them, आप उनके पैर दबा रहे हो या फिर anything, you पैर छू रहे हो, create a positive thought before you touch them. Give them positive energy through your thoughts. That my mama is, she is childlike happy. मेरी माँ बच्चे की तरह happy रहती है, unconditional. And second thing which you can do, जब आप उनको फूड दे रहे थे। पानी का ना एक और भी लॉजिक है, ऑब्वियसली अभी हमने 1 घंटा ले लिया, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ स्टफ। मैंने बोला था इनिशियली पद्धति बहुत सारी है, बिकॉज आई माई सेल्फ डिड लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च इन आयुर्वेद एज वेल, एंड पानी का बहुत ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंट है। वी गो टू गंगा, वी ब्रिंग गंगा जल, राइट, बिकॉज वाटर इज द फॉर्म जो रिटेन करके रखता है एनर्जी। तो फूड में कहीं ना कहीं वाटर पार्टिकल है। सो व्हेन यू कुकिंग फूड और व्हेन यू सर्विंग फूड, energize that food before you serve them. That is another way of you can pass on that positive energy to them. कैसे करना है? सिंपल थॉट। कोई जब तक आप उतने, किसी को मंत्र आते हैं बहुत अच्छी बात है, नहीं आते हैं तो इट डज नॉट मीन यू डोंट डू इट। कि ये फूड जिसके भी पेट में जाए, बस वो चाइल्ड लाइक आनंद उनको मिल जाए। वो चाहे आपका घर पे कोई काम करने वाला हो, आपका पेट हो, या आपकी फैमिली हो, आपके पेरेंट्स हो, आपके बच्चे हो। So this is second thing you can do, but start with yourself. So that is the first thing I would say. और दूसरा, उन्होंने बोला कि रिजेक्शन की वजह से डिप्रेशन फील कर रहा हूँ। एक आपको और मैजिकल चीज बताती हूँ। 80% ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम, 80% ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम गोज अवे व्हेन यू नो व्हाट द प्रॉब्लम इज। एवरी गिवन पॉइंट ऑफ द टाइम हमारे पास ना बुफे ऑफ सॉल्यूशंस होता है। वी ऑलवेज हैव बुफे ऑफ सॉल्यूशन। आई टेल यू वन एग्जांपल। किसी का सिर दर्द हो रहा है, कोई बोलेगा डोलो ले लो, कोई बोलेगा ये पैरासिटामोल का ये ब्रांड ले लो, कोई बोलेगा सिर बांध लो, कोई बोलेगा सिर पे पट्टी लगा लो, कोई बोलेगा चाय पी लो, शायद तुमने आज चाय नहीं पी होगी, कोई बोलेगा नींद ले लो। वी हैव बुफे ऑफ सॉल्यूशंस, बट व्हेन यू नो व्हाट द प्रॉब्लम इज, मुझे पता है मुझे एसिडिटी गैस हुई है, तो व्हाट आई शुड डू, ये जो भी मैंने उल्टा पुल्टा भोजन खाया है उसको रिलीज करना है। तो मैं आई हैव हॉट वाटर, आई सिट इन स्क्वाट पोजीशन, आई रिलीज माय बाउल्स, ये सब एसिडिटी गंदा जो भी है वो चला जाएगा, राइट। सो व्हेन यू नो व्हाट योर प्रॉब्लम इज, प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट डिसअपियरिंग। आप एक्सपेरिमेंट करके देख लेना। नाउ समबडी सेड के रिजेक्शन की वजह से डिप्रेशन फील कर रहा है, कंग्रेचुलेशंस, आपका प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होना ऑलरेडी शुरू हो गया। नाउ वेदर यू use 3 P's from today or after 1 month, you will have that seed, the seed of possibility. So and also I'm not an information coach, I'm an action coach. Action दिए बिना तो मैं जाऊंगी नहीं आज। After we took all the questions, I'll give you action as well.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, no action no results, right? When we
Exactly.
take action we only get results, right?
Yeah.
Good. Anilji is saying that recently I lost my son, very difficult to forget him.
We should not forget them, not at all. I lost my mother. आप अक्टूबर 2022 में जाएंगे, एंड माय मदर शी वाज डायग्नोस्ड विद ब्रेन कैंसर, ब्रेन ट्यूमर। तो फॉरगेट करके तो दैट इज द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक वी वुड डू। लाइक वो हमारी लाइफ में आए हैं, वो बच्ची मेरी लाइफ में आई, हाउ कैन आई फॉरगेट हर, राइट। तो हमें उनको फॉरगेट नहीं करना है। एंड आई गॉट व्हाट यू मीन, आप क्या कहने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं मैं वो समझ गई, कि वो जो पेन है आप उसकी बात कर रहे हैं, कि वो पेन नहीं हम भूल सकते। मैंने क्या किया, जब मेरी माँ गई, हम 3 भाई बहन हैं, तो तीनों ऑस्ट्रेलिया में सेटल्ड है, मेरे माँ बाप भारत में थे। तो शी वॉज ऑन बेड फॉर 6 months, वी वेंट थ्रू ऑल द मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट वी कुड डू। लेकिन जब वो गई, शी वॉज ओनली 57 years old, शी वॉज द यंगेस्ट इन द फैमिली। सो ऑब्वियसली दुख का मैं मोल आपको बता नहीं सकती। अगर ना भी होती, अगर वो 100 साल की भी होती, तो दुख तो सेम ही है जैसा आपने बच्चे के बारे में बताया। तो आई कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंड। लेकिन मैंने क्या करना शुरू किया ना, आई स्टार्टेड मेकिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज about my mother. I started documenting everything. कैसे? मेरे ही सिर्फ बच्चे हैं, मेरे भाई बहन के बच्चे नहीं हैं। They won't know. My sister's children will not know how the nanny was. My brother's children will not know how our dadi was. So what I started doing, I started doing gratitude practices with my all my relatives. And उससे बेहतर मौका कहाँ मिल सकता था कि I can capture how they are remembering my mother. So what I said, I started talking about my mother a lot, not in terms of crying. She transitioned from the body, that is the fact, that is the truth. And whether I like it or not like it, I have to accept. So the first phase was acceptance, accepting whatever the situation is. Now the second is act. अब मैं क्या बेस्ट कर सकती हूँ इस मोमेंट में। वो बच्चा, जो मेरी बच्ची गई, वो 14 साल की थी, एंड शी डाइड इन एन एक्सीडेंट। उसकी जो डेथ थी वो नेचुरल नहीं थी, वो गिर गई थी पैर स्लिप होके, एंड शी डाइड ऑन द स्पॉट, एंड शी वाज अबाउट टू मूव टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया विद इन 6 months. वो मेरे साथ इतनी अटैच्ड. सो व्हाट आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग, आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग थिंग्स ऑन हर नेम, जिस जो जो उसको अच्छा लगता था. शी लव्ड पंजाबी सूट्स, so I started I started getting the suits ready and I started giving to other children. वो मेरे पेट से जनी हुई बच्ची नहीं थी, but still I was so attached with her as she was my daughter. And similarly, how does it even matter if she has the same face? I have other Annas. Her nickname was Anna, so I had other Annas. I started seeing my Anna in other girls. She was like a princess क्योंकि मेरे cousin की जो family थी that was well versed financially, but there are other Annas who did not have what she had. So I started living उसके साथ जीना शुरू किया बाकी लड़कियों के रूप में. And similarly, my mother, she's living in my stories now. Every session, it does not complete without mentioning her. So हमें उन्हें forget नहीं करना है, हमें सिर्फ वो कड़वा experience forget करना है. हमें सिर्फ वो experience जो उस time पे जैसे भी वो गए, वो pain वही उसको avoid करके counter argument करने हैं जो उसकी good things थी, उसको celebrate करना है. And that's what I started doing. आप अगर देखोगे पिछले साल के वीडियोस, यू विल बी सो सरप्राइज कि मेरी माँ की अभी 13वीं भी नहीं हुई थी, एंड आई वाज लाइक इन माय फार्म्स एंड यू नो मेकिंग ग्रैटिट्यूड वीडियोस. यू विल सी अ फोटो विद माय मदर एंड यू विल सी कि क्या मेरे मानसिक स्थिति थी उस टाइम. एंड दैट इज हाउ आई कनेक्टेड विद द फैमिली एनीवे, द ऑनलाइन फैमिली, that when you are in that situation, how you're managing it, because the pain is unforgettable.
So true. Yeah, so Preeti is asking, I do a lot of self-work trying to change my thoughts when during situations I usually react like the same way as earlier. How much time will I take to overcome it?
जैसे मैंने टाइम बोला था पहले, इट्स वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, डिपेंड करता है आपका वुंड कितना गहरा है. एक लड़की जिसको थप्पड़ पड़ा था और एक लड़की जिसको चाइल्ड मोलेस्टेशन हुआ था, कुछ ही सेकंड्स का एक्ट है दोनों, बट द डेप्थ ऑफ पेन इज डिफरेंट. सो सिमिलरली आपका जो इंसिडेंट, जो मेन रूट इंसिडेंट हुआ है, जिसने आपके साथ वो किया है, हाउ डीपली पेनिट्रेटेड इट इज, दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकेंड, आपका आप कितने पावरफुल एनर्जी से काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट खुद को दे रहे हो. टू बी ऑनेस्ट, 3 दिन भी इनफ है, 3 दिन भी इनफ है अपने हेड को रिस्पॉन्स, डिफॉल्ट रिस्पॉन्स बदलने के लिए. बट इट्स वेरी सब्जेक्टिव. तो खुद को अगर जितनी पावरफुली आपका वेपन है ना, वेपन है आपका काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट का, पहले अवेयरनेस, जितनी डीपली अवेयर जाओ, मतलब हमें ना आपकी बॉडी रेजिस्ट करेगी. लेट मी टेल यू, आप लोग कभी जो वेट तो बहुत लोग लूज करना चाहते हैं, 2 दिन बाद आपकी बॉडी जिम जाने को मना करेगी, नहीं नहीं रहने दो. क्यों? क्योंकि आपकी बॉडी दुखेगी. लाइक दैट. सिमिलरली, when you feel like crying and all that stuff, when you're doing those exercises, your body and mind will start resisting. How powerfully you stand for yourself. No, 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 I'll go deep into it and I'll find my root pattern. So it's very subjective. कम से कम मिनिमम 3 days से लेके ज्यादा से ज्यादा तो फिर इट ऑल डिपेंड्स कितनी शिद्दत से आप कर रहे हो. आप इस शिद्दत से कर रहे हो कि मुझे इसको खत्म करना ही है, बहुत हो गया है, ये मेरा दोस्त नहीं है, ये मेरा दुश्मन है पैटर्न, इसको उखाड़ के फेंक देना है, उतनी पावरफुली आप उसको तमाचा मारोगे ना. इट्स लाइक दैट. इट्स वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, बट स्टार्ट विद द सीड ऑफ पॉसिबिलिटी.
So well said. Okay. Yeah, so I think we are done with the questions. Payal is saying, do we have to pen down whatever you feel stressed about? I think
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Start with how you are feeling now, and then start going back. Okay, when did I feel it last month? Then it will automatically start coming 10, 15, 5 things, okay. When did मैंने ऐसा ही कब फील किया था, जब मैं मान लो आज अगर मैं 30 साल की हूँ फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो मैंने जब मैं अपने 20s में थी, कब मैंने ऐसा फील किया था. कौन कौन लोग थे जो मुझे ऐसा ही फील करवाते थे, कौन कौन सी सिचुएशंस हुई थी। अच्छा, जब मेरे वो मार्क्स का रिजल्ट लगा था और मेरे मार्क्स कम आए थे, तब भी मुझे ऐसा ही फील हुआ था। उसने मेरी खिल्ली उड़ाई थी, तब भी मुझे ऐसा ही फील हुआ था। अच्छा, ऐसा ही मुझे तब भी फील हुआ था जब मेरी जो फैंसी ड्रेस की आउटफिट थी, इट वाज नॉट अप टू द मार्क एंड आई वाज जस्ट 10 years old, लाइक दैट। सो यू कीप ऑन गोइंग बैक टू एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल, मतलब जितना यंग एज में जाते रहोगे, क्योंकि पैटर्न आपके ना, बहुत ज्यादातर पैटर्न अर्ली एज से स्टार्ट।
Yeah, I hope you got the answer. Yeah, wow, 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 wow. बिल्कुल छोड़ने का मन नहीं कर रहा आज थी.
मेरा भी, and I love doing it. And today I'm sitting on my computer, you know already, after 2-3 weeks I'm in front of camera.
Wow, 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 wow. Wonderful, wonderful. So I have loved a lot. Thank you so, so much. So what is the one thing that you all promise doing? First, tell me, everyone. What is the one thing that you all promise doing? Everyone, those who are here. Are you just gonna go back into your old pattern, or what is that one action? Now that you are quite aware, also, now that awareness has to go deeper, facing your own self. Yeah? Yeah.
Thank
आप भी
you.
हंसिए. बिल्कुल. You're blessed with two beautiful ladies with beautiful smile. But हाँ, yeah, clear emotional baggages. करना क्या है? हाँ, write down बस, pen, paper, पानी. Follow this one mantra, everyone. Yeah, so Arshdeep, you were saying that you will be giving some homework also ना, तो वो आप homework बताइए सब.
या वेरी सिंपल होमवर्क, ठीक है, लेकिन ईमानदारी से करना है, ठीक है।
हाँ, पहले
पहला
पहले ये बताओ कौन कौन रेडी है